وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. أما بعد، أحبتي في الله، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. حياكم الله. أسأل الله الكريم رب العرش العظيم أن يتولنا في الدنيا والآخرة. May Allah protect us, preserve us, and forgive us, and guide us, and have mercy upon our souls. The question was asked, أحبتي في الله, about studying advanced nahu and sarf and fiqh. So, first and foremost, ground yourself in the basics. Ground yourself in the basics. If you think that you are grounded in the basics, in your usul ad-din, aqidah, and basic fiqh, and the basic grammar and so forth, of course you tadarraj, you go to different levels in your studying, and that is the nature of talab al-ilm. As far as going very deep into nahu and very deep into sarf and usul of fiqh, going very, very deep. The scholars speak about this, the scholars of Ahl Sunnah, especially contemporary scholars, because what you find is you find some of the, or in fact you find many of the Asharis and Mu'tazila and others from Ahl Kalam, that they go very, very deep into the grammar. So by depth, we're not talking about ajramiyya, we're talking about getting into major, spending extensive time in the language and using that linguistic interpretation versus the other mustalahat shar'i, or ways of understanding the Islamic terminology. So they focus very, very take very high levels in the Arabic language. That doesn't mean we need incompetency, no. But as far as what you need as a student of knowledge, or even perhaps a scholar, depending on your society, depending on your level and what is kind of the norm and what is expected of a scholar in your mujtama, then that's going to determine to what extent you're studying. But do not go deep into those other sciences to the exclusion of those prerequisites of what you need of grounding yourself in the creed, especially, and minhaj or methodology of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. So it's very important, Ahbabti Billah, that you have an appropriate balance. And what I would also say along your journey in seeking knowledge is making istishar with that you should seek the advice and seek the insight and seek the guidance, if you will, from the people of knowledge. So those kind of questions, when it comes to, if you have been studying for a long period of time, then you can ask the scholars, scholars that you trust from Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah, about what books that you need to advance in that particular science that you're studying. So everything is going to be relative to what you are trying to accomplish. What are the needs of you and your family and your society? Let's give an example, and I think this example Sheikh Ibrahim Raheli was talking to, I've heard him say this, but also I know Shadid Muhammad also had a discussion with him as well, about about memorizing the Quran, and he was basically saying, which is very, very true, and that it's relative in a Arabic speaking society, or in probably all Muslim societies predominantly, especially Arab societies and others, and and probably African and Asian societies, one who is speaking and giving dawah, or that is considered a sheikh, he must memorize the Quran, or pretty much memorize the Quran, or that's going to take away from his status. Whereas in a non traditional Muslim society, in like in the West, or in non-Muslim society, the level of requirement is not the same. Someone could be doing dawah, and they might perhaps memorize only a portion of the Quran, maybe only half the Quran, maybe a third of the Quran, maybe much less than that. But yet they have the competency to teach the people in their society what they need to know. So, Anas mutafawitin or mutafawitun. People have different levels and different requirements in different societies, and the people of knowledge have different requirements. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, to accept our good and forgive our evil. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.